Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Business and Beyond's Feature Friday. Today, we have Mr. Mukesh Kumar. He is the founder of Malura Legal Center. He is an Indian citizen with an impressive academic and professional background. He holds 3 master's degrees, which reflect his diverse expertise and intellectual curiosity. His academic journey began with a master's in geography, followed by a master's in mass communication and journalism from India. Furthering his education, he pursued an LLM from Tulane Law School in New Orleans, and he showcases his international academic reach through these master's degrees. Now, professionally, Mr. Kumar is a highly respected lawyer and mediator with a rich experience in resolving disputes through both legal avenues and alternative dispute resolution mechanisms. In addition to his legal career, he is a dedicated academic and researcher, contributing significantly to the field through his scholarly work. His intellectual pursuits have also resulted in the publication of 4 books, reflecting his commitment to advancing knowledge in his areas of expertise. So, Mr. Kumar, welcome today. Thank you for being on our show.
Thank you. Thank you so much having me. It is an honor for me to have a conversation with you.
Well, no, thank you for being here. Your resume is impressive. You have so many master's degrees. And so I'm really looking forward to our conversation and in helping other business owners learn from what you have done. So, can you give us an overview of what your business does and why you got into it?
Well, I have 3 work areas basically. The first one, starting with the mediation, of course, that is the most and something like the area that I work in. Along with that, we have 2 other works, that is academic kind of, you can say a sort of, where what I do, I just designed certain courses, of course, in the field of law itself, that is not like traditional or conventional kind of. Rather, it is interdisciplinary in nature. For example, application of psychology in law. So here I am also integrating the psychological terms, psychological concepts in law, and how it can help people to shape their career in the field of law. So that is entirely applied part. Nowadays, AI is something like grooming. So AI, of course, it's not the legal field, of course, not untouched. So of course, AI affecting legal field as well. So how a lawyer can take advantage of AI? Because being a lawyer, we as a lawyer not something like much acquainted with technology kind of thing, but we have to learn certain things that these days technological world advancing, isn't it? So of course, again, so there are two kind of works that is essentially something that essentially required to understand. So the primary work is being a lawyer, how you can take the advantage of AI. That is the thing you cannot ignore. This is something that this is technology, you cannot ignore AI. The first statement. The second statement, you cannot avoid AI, because if you avoid, other people will go farther and farther and you will stay there only. So neither you can avoid nor you can ignore. So what you can do best, you need to learn how you can go hand in hand with AI in your legal field. Secondly, being a lawyer, of course, we cannot stop our thinking here only in learning, because AI coming nowadays coming like anything, and we don't have the competent law in order to tackle the issues created by these AIs kind of thing, right? So we also working on those aspects. So how we can handle, what law need to be made in order to handle all those issues that is coming up basically. So these two aspects are something like very
Yeah.
concerned, of course. The third work we have, of course, that is publication kind of, not exactly, but of course, publication. So we are also having some writing books and all, and we also writing not like conventional kind of. We have something unique kind of work. That is like Bear Act. I don't know you people how people define Bear Act. In India, Bear Act something like law passed by the legislature. That is Bear Act.
Okay.
Okay. If you insert explanation, examples, case laws, or something like that, then it becomes something like book, not Bear Act. But Bear Act means the whatever the laws made and passed by parliament or legislature, that is Bear. It's simply empty, nothing else. So that is Bear Act. So I designed Bear Act. I cannot play with the text, with the grammar, with anything, because whatever in whatever way it is written, I have to present that in the same fashion. But we can we can change its presentation. Of course, we can adore in some different way. So this is something like globally unique, that entire book is published in a tabular form. Entire book is in a tabular form. And the law book usually used to be with black printing only, no color printing, but it is colorful. So that is something like uniqueness. And I took around, you will be surprised to know, I took around 2 years to conclude how I need to put in a table, because many times I deleted. Oh, I am not able to convince myself. How I will convince my audience? So that was the something like bigger challenge for me. But yes, it took so much time, but finally I did that. So this is how my firm, that is Malura Legal Center, doing three types of works.
And so, just to recap very quickly, the primary work that you do is mediations, and that's
Right,
mediations for all kinds of different disputes, from family disputes to property disputes to business disputes, right? You're a big,
right.
okay, so a full service mediation firm. Do you only service India, or do you go outside of that geographic area?
Well, not essentially outside India, but yes, a couple of clients, because but the dispute was with Indian client. So I resolved that. So both, I didn't handle any case that is something like both the clients supposed to be foreigner.
Okay.
So whatever the clients we have, all Indians, and if they have the dispute with some foreign clients, then of course I have handled two cases of such type.
Okay,
Yes,
so you do mediations for international disputes that have to do with Indian citizens.
yes,
Okay. And then the second work that you have is you're creating an educational platform for how to incorporate other medias into law, such as psychology, such as AI, correct? And
right,
how lawyers can take advantage of that, which to
yes,
me is absolutely amazing, because I think that as lawyers, we have to know so much more about the people, about how this little dispute or how this little issue affects so many more things than just
right,
what it says, right? And so I think it's very commendable that you're bringing light to that and showing
right,
people that they have to and can use other modalities in law.
right.
And then the third one you said was scholarly work, where you were taking laws or statutes, as we call them in the US, and you're basically analyzing them and giving a perspective on how they can be interpreted. Is that a fair assessment?
Right, right,
Okay. And you have been in business for almost 10 years, right?
right, right.
So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So since this is a business podcast, I'm going to ask you, in those 10 years, what have been some obstacles that you have faced in running your business and growing your business and keeping it going?
Yes. In terms of challenges and the difficulties, well, that what I believe and what I observed. It is not something like that you can handle. Okay, this is the one time challenge and you just handle it. Okay, fine. No more challenge. But it is a challenge in itself is a process. As you move forward, you will get the challenge. As you keep on moving, you will keep on getting. So forget about the term challenge, because once challenge is something like a difficult word to interpret. Okay, it's a very difficult word to interpret because it gives something like a negative kind of impact on your mind. So it is
Yeah.
challenge means I have to prepare for that, like something armor ourselves to fight with that challenge. Not at all. It is in day to day life you will face, definitely going to face a lot of things. So okay, take it easy. The first thing that you need to something like console or reshape something like your mind, okay, so that it do not get panic, isn't it? If it gets panic, then of course you are going to do something wrong. But yes, challenge, okay, fine, take it like so easy, cool, it will happen. Okay, so I never thought, okay, this is the challenge, that is the challenge. Not at all. Okay, I'm doing this work. Okay, sometimes I get the work, I have done this work and it is done. But sometimes keep on doing, but it is not getting done. It's fine. Take it, but do not pressurize yourself. This is for me, this is the tips. Do not pressurize yourself. Okay, I'm not able to do this. I'm not able to do this. Because if once you read the psychology, I tell you very nice story. When I was doing my masters in mass communication journalism, I had a paper that is advertisement. In advertisement, there was a theory, that is cultivation theory. Okay, the purpose of this cultivation theory is, see, if you keep on passing the same message, okay, so today if you are not liking anything, maybe tomorrow the same product you start liking. So advertisement, the purpose behind advertisement is not to sell the product, rather to aware your audience, your buyers, this product came in the market. Okay, so this is the product that came into the market newly. So this is the purpose behind just creating the advertisement, right? So that advertisement, if you keep on watching again and again and again, then what you do, okay, just try once, right? So this is the mind. So if you keep on passing the same message, your mind start thinking in the same way, right? So forget about the challenge, forget about the difficulty. Okay, fine, just keep on doing. So this is how I just I just make understand myself. Okay, this is okay, this is my work. Sometimes okay, difficult, sometimes easy. So I didn't see the things so challenging, honestly I tell you, because I did a lot of things. I explored the world. I landed in more than 5 countries, and I have seen the things. So but I never find the things difficult for me, honestly tell you.
But I love that. It's all about the perception, right?
Yes.
It's all about your perception. And yes, you will have difficult times. You will have
Yes.
difficult things. You might have an outcome that you were not planning on having,
Yes.
right? But it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing or should have a bad connotation.
Yes.
Right. And I love how you brought in that story about the advertising, because it's
Right.
not about selling it right away. It's about getting people familiar, getting their
Yes.
brains familiar so that they can start liking and trusting. And it's not something so foreign anymore. It's not something
Yes.
so new and novel,
Right.
right? And so if your perception is, I will face any difficulties, I like to have change, I can learn from what happens to me rather
Yes.
than I have to overcome obstacles, it makes it so much easier to continue and be successful and have a business that's open for 10 years and still going.
Right. Right. Right.
Yes, so I love that. Thank you. That's a really good thing to have. Um, so other than what we've already talked about, and I mean, what makes you unique in helping others? What makes your business unique in helping others?
Yeah, this is again nice question. When you are dealing with the public directly, because mediation you have to have one-to-one session, or maybe sometimes group session, right? So there is a term in law, basically in this field, that is caucus. It's a term when you interact with your client one-to-one. So initially both the clients will be there, but after that, as per the requirement, you have to have one-to-one session, right? Again, I will explain this with an example. uh, because mediation, many people have some wrong perception, because another term in law, there is another term, conciliation. In English it is known as negotiation. So once you start talking with your client, it becomes negotiation or conciliation. It is no more mediation. Okay. So mediation, what I perceived and how I explain this term, mediation is something that mediator resolves dispute without speaking anything. Mediator doesn't speak anything, and then it just facilitate parties to resolve their dispute on their own, but guided by the mediator, instead of just putting his own ideas and thoughts, sometimes helping them, of course helping them sometimes, but it's not suggesting anything. Just provide the information if they are lacking somewhere. Provide the information, but do not suggest you need to do this, because once you start suggesting, means you are a negotiator, not a mediator. That is the thing. So first you need to understand, okay, what is the meaning of a mediation, or who is a mediator, right? So this is the thing that you need to, once you understand your role, the job is itself very easy.
So,
Otherwise very difficult to tackle, because there are different people. Okay, their mind setup, you don't know what you will speak, they will like or they will not like. So that there are a lot of things. So that is the important point, because the example that I was talking about, that is, see, if see, if you start feeling something like some illness and all, you will visit a doctor and you will explain, I'm feeling a headache or something like some pain. You are able to speak everything, how you are feeling, what problem you have in your body. But at the same time, if a kid or baby is supposed to be 6 months old, it cannot speak anything, right? Baby cannot speak anything, what problem she or he has. So in that condition, how a doctor will treat without having conversation with that baby? So mediator needs to understand their clients are like babies. Sometimes they won't speak anything, sometimes they speak, but mediators needs to understand everything. That's why a mediator has to understand the psychology of their his or her client, isn't
and
it?
I love
Only
that.
then able to. Yes.
Yes, because as an attorney myself, I have found that a lot of my clients don't know what they really want, right?
Yes.
They think they know. And then when you dive a little bit deeper and you ask them questions and you start listening and you actually try to understand the underlying motivations, then it becomes clearer to them and to you what they need and what they want. And it's much easier to resolve disputes that way.
Right. Right. So
Right.
yeah, that is the one, because initially, as I explained the term caucus and all, so once you start listening, at that time you need to listen them very carefully. Otherwise, they won't take interest in telling what they are feeling and what they want. So at that time, you have to have there only. You need to understand what they are speaking, and let them exhaust whatever is in their mind. Just let them exhaust. Once they exhaust, they're able to just accept anything. But until there is something, they won't accept anything. They won't able to resolve the dispute. So let it off, whatever they are in their mind, because they came here with some problems in their minds. So first, let them exhaust. So that is my strategy, how to resolve the things. Yeah.
And I love that because it's so true. You need the psychology to be able to
Yes.
be a good mediator, right? You have to
Right.
allow the people to resolve their own issues and negotiate their own resolutions. So that is wonderful. Now, if people wanted to get a hold of you, or if they wanted to get a hold of your educational platform, or they wanted to hire you as a mediator, how would they do that? Do you have a website? Do you have contact information?
Yes, I have the website, Malura Legal Center. That is, we have the website, mplegalfirm.in. That is the website. We have the YouTube channel, Malura Legal Center. That is there. You can just have a look. So people can approach us with those mediums, something like those medium.
Okay, and
So
we will have that information down below in the comments, so you can actually go through and look for Malura Legal Center and look at what they do. And then the last question I have for you is,
yeah.
what is your number one advice for business owners so that they can be successful?
Okay. For me, it is the first one, of course, is time management. Time, it's something like very important. And what you do, just make a blueprint, note it down, document it, and make something like, if you just made a plan, I want to do this. So there should be two columns. What is benefit and what is it's a disadvantage. Okay, so note it down first, the primary work. And then based on that, if the number of benefits are greater than number of disadvantages, then you start. Or else, if you are yourself not able to find something like much beneficial, then it is not good to start. So that is the one. And once you did it, then something like you have to schedule it, because by this time I have to complete this, by this time I have to complete that. And yes, being human, something like sometimes it is difficult to follow whatever you documented and what in real life you are doing. Of course, it's not like always not to stick with that. Sometimes you are ill, sometimes maybe some urgent meeting, or could be anything, so not able to something like complete the task that you already scheduled. In that condition, in the night, of course, when you are going to sleep, what you do, just analyze that day's work, what you did, whatever the things you scheduled, whether able to complete that or not. If completed, fine. If not completed, then why not completed? Is the reason genuine, or it is an excuse simply? So you have to analyze your work, so that if you made or commit some mistake, you can correct that. Or else it will be difficult to find out where you made the mistake. So be a teacher yourself, be guide yourself, because after a certain age, you are the guide of your career or your life or something like that. So do not cheat with yourself. It's you thinking something like, yeah, I'm cheating someone else, I believe I'm cheating with myself. So do not do that. That is highly dangerous, and rest of the things will happen. Just two and three things are there that can keep you disciplined, and rest of the things live on your destiny. Keep on doing your work is to do that honestly. Rest of the things, that result is not in your hand, so do not worry about that. Keep honesty with your work, that's it.
That is fantastic advice, because being self-aware and self-critical and self-analyzing is the best way, like you said, to correct mistakes and to continue to do the things that are working. And without that analysis, how will you know? How are you going to
Yes.
measure yourself? So,
Yes.
Mr. Kumar, thank you so much for being here with us today. I really appreciate your time. And I hope everybody here has gotten perception is key, organization, and self-awareness and analysis. Have a great day, everyone.